I actually don't. I fucking Resident Evil 4 sucks, dick.
What? No.
It's the worst of Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil.
Are you fucking kidding? Resident Evil 4 is the worst game.
4 is way better than 2, man. Come on now.
What, Nick?
Pound fucking sand, John.
I've played both of them.
4? You hate 4.
I do not like 4.
What?
Welcome to the Spindash Retro Gaming Podcast. Prepare yourself for the joy of classic gaming. Fired straight into your delicate little ear holes. Fire away.
There are times where like Nick is just, chilling, doing his thing, Nick's following, and then there are other times where Nick comes in and just fucking nukes a podcast, and it's hysterical when it happens. It's like the lottery.
It's not a nuke, it's a carpet bomb of dicks. It's just dick bombs an entire fucking village.
Dude, you hosted Donkey Kong and then you dick bombed yourself. Like you nuked your own episode.
Maybe we should put Nukem in this.
Fucking do it. Fucking do it.
Duke Nukem Time to Kill.
Because it'll just be us being stupid the entire episode.
Exactly.
Well, that's like when we went to start this one. Like, I knew that John had. I knew you guys hadn't touched much of this, so it's like, all right, if you haven't played much of the game, at least bring stupid. That is,
we'll do that.
I put a solid 2 hours.
So you literally played all the good parts of the game. I can't.
Let's not start the game yet. Let's open us up, Matt.
Well, hold on. So let's. We've been doing. So I've also found too when we do these episodes that if I try to plan on an intro, it turns into me just fucking up and sounding like an idiot. Where I can do whatever I want on a rolling intro. Like the audience just gets taken on a ride. It's like they come right in. It's like, well, welcome into my house. We're having a conversation. How can I help you? We sound less stupid on a rolling intro.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that because with me today, I have Lupus the dog and I have Vela, the Vela the girl.
I hate to see what's in your closet because it's a blow-up doll with my face on it, isn't it?
Wait, Matt, you have one too?
Yeah.
Fun fact, we had a Christmas party years ago. And one of our friends at the time was bringing her boyfriend over for the first time for us to like meet him. And it was a Christmas party and we were doing like the Yankee swap or we're doing the draw name ordeal. And Parker got him a blow up doll. Like the first time, like, hi, who are you? Here's your blow up doll. It was Fatty Patty, the blow up doll. It was a fat girl blow up doll is what he got for Christmas.
Oh God.
Solid gift. That's one you might have to worry about getting traded at the end.
Not gonna re-gift that. John, did you see the RoboCop fleshlight that I sent?
Yes.
Oh God! Wow, we have already derailed it. It's not fucking Jesus.
Dead or
Christ.
alive, you're coming with me. Oh fuck!
Do robots know puns?
Well, the question then goes into: is RoboCop a robot or is he a android?
Is he a cop?
Guys, I swear, listeners, we're not high. We're not on anything. We're literally just fucking stupid.
Stupid. I started drinking before.
Yeah, me too.
I cracked open. This is the last of my Russian stouts. So this thing's potent. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh,
but Nick, you're clearly doing better than me because you busted out the vodka, right?
yeah. It takes the edge off with some Tylenol, Advil.
That's his mixer. It's not a very tasty mixer.
Oh, here's the Marilyn Monroe diet.
That's not a Cape Cod. That's like a Providence, Rhode Island.
Hartford, Connecticut.
Drugs. It's drugs.
Nick shows up with some scissor, some purple drank.
Yeah.
No, it was a long day today for work. So It is what it is.
Shit.
Yeah, I got the red stripe.
I miss the commercials. I haven't seen a red stripe commercial in years.
I don't get commercials anymore.
You don't have Hulu, or do you pay for the fancy Hulu?
I don't really watch Hulu. I don't know.
I'm forced to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have Hulu if it wasn't for Nikki.
Yeah.
Hulu has some good programmings on it. Actually, Amazon has some really good stuff going right now.
Amazon's picking up.
Yep.
Mm.
I recommend Vox Machina.
That doesn't even sound like English.
It's based off Critical Role. So it's actually what they are. It's a show that's based off the D&D role playing of this group of voice actors. So they took their missions and pretty much translated it into a TV series.
Sweet.
It's actually really good, really funny. It's actually funny. It's like, oh wow, so that's what D&D would be like if you had someone professionally voice acting and doing actual character roles. So it's really funny.
Wow, this isn't stupid.
It doesn't sound so mundane. But yeah, I mean, obviously they take out the other stuff like, you know, when you roll a die or ask it's just literally the actual storyline. It's actually really good. John will probably call it anime.
John watches
Anime.
nothing but anime.
Ugh. I don't even
John,
know what to watch. What's up?
John, I don't have an anime game picked out for you yet, but I am pretty fucking sure I have my eBay picked out for you and Nick, and I haven't ordered it yet. I'm so fucking it skirts the line on if it's acceptable for this show or not.
Ooh,
But-
so it's end of life device game.
End of original Xbox. So
Dead or alive?
nope, but it has Xbox 360 logoing on it, but no 360. It just says Xbox, and it's playable on both. It came out, yeah.
It's backwards compatible.
It is backwards. So I'm gonna really skirt that rule to do this as our eBay find. You will be getting sealed copies of this game from me, sealed.
Dang.
Plus extras, probably extras. Honestly, I would feel bad if I got you this game and didn't get you extras.
I'm so confused what this could be.
I'm so fucking excited. You guys unleashed the stupidest idea ever, and now I'm going to capitalize on it. And I'm so excited to pick you guys out a game on eBay.
Well,
Nick's just gonna ponder this the whole time.
Nick, if you get any ideas, you text me. I don't think you're going to guess it. I'm going to buy it for myself too, because I need it. So, speaking of pickups, though, and things we're going to do, have you guys had any pickups lately?
I don't think I have.
I picked up Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh, for Xbox.
Yeah, I might have said that last time with Sega GT. And so I got that good copy. And then I have a new microphone surround to try to improve my audio quality. We'll see.
Nice. Very nice. I have picked up Donkey Kong 64 because Nick has hinted that we're going that direction, so I want to be prepared. I bought this like feces-covered copy and cleaned it up, so it works. I mean, it was nasty. That thing was gross, but it's cheap.
Good deal though. Yeah, because I've been trying to find it, and I'm in the 30s right now.
Yeah, I didn't realize it's kind of fluctuated. Like I was in the low. I think I paid like 21 or 22 for it,
and with the shipping too, right?
Yep. To go lower than that, you're going to have an eBay a yard sale find.
And
then I got Star Tropics because we played that as our game of the week, and I don't actually own it, so I have that now.
So, are you going to be buying every game of the week then?
Ones I can afford.
I mean, Castlevania should be up there, right?
Nope, can't afford that. Harmony Dissonance, not happening.
Ooh.
Not happening. Crusader Senti, never happening ever.
Yeah.
Silhouette Mirage, probably not ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Nick, you've picked one other one that fucked me. I mean, I forked out for Crystal Warriors, so I mean, I'm at least fighting the good fight. So,
I'm trying to think
and
what
then
else
I had You did Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Castlevania is the one that you hurt me the most on because I want that and I can't afford it. What else
What's
have you
that going
picked?
for? 50?
50, 60, somewhere in that range. But I can't trust it. I don't trust GBA games on eBay.
I know, it is hard.
There's too many fakes and I'm not good enough. That's the one console I'm really not good at seeing fakes on.
Those are the ones you kind of have to like buy like in person almost.
I just am not good enough. I know that you can look at like where it says Game Boy Advance on the front and you can look for the stamping, but I'm not good enough at seeing them. But I bought Metroid Dread the second time around after getting my refund. Hopefully it's coming tomorrow, so we'll see.
You get to ship the other one back, or?
Yep, that one got shipped back. Send me that European trash. American. Fucking America. And in between the last time we recorded and this one, I have not bought any game companies. So that seems to be all the rage lately is everyone's buying fucking game companies.
Yeah, what?
Crazy.
Microsoft bought... What was it?
Activision Blizzard?
Activision?
No,
Activision, yeah. So
Which,
Blizzard's going with it.
Yeah.
And then did you hear about Sony? Did you hear what Sony just pulled out of their ass?
No, what did they do? Oh, I did see.
Sony bought Bungie.
Crazy.
The company that made Microsoft, Sony just bought. Granted, they don't have Halo. Yeah. They have Destiny. I don't get what they're getting out of it.
How did Bungie? So Microsoft Bungie was a thing for a while, right?
Yep. Then Halo is now under what is it called?
343.
Yeah. Which was the original as the main company? Wasn't it one of the major companies either way? 343 wasn't always part of them.
It was kind of like a spin-off because I think what happened was Bungie wanted to make other games other than Halo. So I think people from that team, maybe the same exact team, it may be a completely different team, but that's Microsoft's in-house Halo studio, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now Sony owns Bungie in some weird fucking bizarro land. So when is Sega getting bought? That's the next question I have for you guys.
What do they still got going on?
They do quite a bit still.
They have the best IPs that they will not capitalize on.
Yeah.
They're like one step better than Konami, which is just like, oh, we have amazing IPs. We're going to make fucking pachinko games for the end of time.
I think they're holding out and they're just going to end up surprising everyone with their own console.
The tattoo offer still stands. It's Sega on my ass.
It has to.
There has to be a song that somebody can write.
About what?
And a Sega on my ass. Like,
you feel like John's trying to come up with a jingle.
That's our new intro music. Sega on my ass.
Every time you fart, it goes, Sega.
Can you imagine, like, we go off for a guy's weekend and we come back and it's like, all right, Nikki, we got to talk. So something happened and then something more crucial happened. Sega released the new console, so me and the guys went and this is what I got forever.
No, the way you'd have to deliver is like, okay, one, I got a tattoo on my ass, but the most crucial thing is Sega's releasing a console.
I did this for us.
You'd have to let Dan draw the Sega symbol and then get that tattooed because his handwriting sucks so bad.
I think I'm the only one that's worse than Dan, so Dan would definitely be my number one pick.
You have these itty bitty little chicken scratches, and Dan has cursive. I could read yours better because your letter's separated. I can't read cursive.
What's the writing before, like, not hieroglyphs, but Carter? I feel it begins with a C. It's like more like dashes and it's before hieroglyphs was a written language.
Cuneiform?
No, is it?
This is going to stump us. I suck at history.
Dan writes in Aramaic. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, John, is Dan on lock?
Yes.
We've secured Dan for 2 episodes.
Wait, are you saying yes because you think you most definitely have it, or are you saying yes because he has confirmed himself?
I mean, he said he's going to start playing it. And as long as we don't record on like 2 days, I can get the dates in the chat. Then he's good.
Can we make Dan host it?
Host it. He does know the most about it of all of us.
Teach us about this game. We just want to get drunk, but we have an obligation to the 3 listeners that we have to present some fact.
That man has archaic knowledge of so many things.
He could single-handedly save the podcast because we are all trying to drive it in the ground in our own.
He could tell you about it without even playing it again. Like he could go through the whole game, I bet. He has that encyclopedia.
That's what we need. We need someone who's not taking notes who knows it. We need someone who played the game. We need someone who played more than 6% of the game. Unlike our game of the week. That's the best segue I
think
could do.
Maybe I did 10%, maybe.
You did 2. So the game of the week is Jet Force Gemini. Nick, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'll start with a positive, right? We have to start with positives. I think the music of this game is magnificent, actually. I actually really enjoy the music. And I thought actually the sound effects were great too. That is it.
That's it.
You're like,
I was like, I was feeling the music, I'm feeling it, and then it was like, them like playing. I'm like, I know it's N64, but it's out. God, the camera is so horrible. The graphics, like it looks like the guy has a pair of friggin' tits, silver tits, because where his thing is. So it looks like he has a pair of silver tits. Yeah. The friggin' the creatures you're saving look like fuck up Mogwai.
Mogwai, I had that in my notes. Yep.
Save that thought for later. So hold on, Nick, I'm going to stop you for a second. I want to ask you. So this is kind of like those like conflict resolution meetings where you're in, where it's like, okay, you need to say something nice about this person.
Give them a shit sandwich, Nick.
Well, they're a human. Okay, what's the negative? Well, they fucking suck and I wish they'd eat shit and die. It's like, well, okay, that's not really. So
you give a nice and then you give a bad and then you give a nice. You got to put the shit in the middle.
So the nice, again, music was great. I sounded really well. I was actually really enjoyed the sound effects. Like when you killed the bug, like it had a like squish effect. I thought those were all great effects.
Yeah.
I was expecting, I guess, more out of Rare on this. And I've never played this game, so I have no history with this game at all. And
you came in blind. You were just
I came in completely blind. You know, I'm already blind to one eye, but I came into this full on blind. So,
oh shit!
So, I was just having troubles. I mean, it probably didn't help that I was also playing the ROM, emulating this. And
now that was your own fuck up. Let's let the listeners know that was your own fuck up.
I take full responsibility. This was my fuck up. I knew it was coming. I just have not purchased it. And the fact is that you gave us extra time, and when you gave us extra time, I should have purchased it right then. And I still didn't purchase it.
You're the guy. So hold on, for the listeners, Nick was the one that came to all of us and said we should pick our games further out. it's really hard because we're picking things, we're changing them at the last minute. We should have more time to know what's coming. So
Yeah.
Nick had several months notice.
Yeah.
Several months, and I effed it up. But even when I got it, the ROM emulating appropriately, that camera, like just playing through, like one, it's a weird setup too, and this is also this game's gonna bite me in the ass even more when we play a game that you bought that's also a Rare game, because it's set up very similar, and I think this is what Rare does for these type of games. So I know when this game comes out, you guys are gonna full on trash and kill me on it.
Yeah.
So it's weird because this one is you literally you go into a doorway and then you have your quote unquote your level that you have to complete. And I mean, honestly, this game is a collection game. It's also a third-person shooters, which I fucking hate. I hate third-person shooters.
Why? Now stop right there. Why?
No, I hate it. I just don't like it.
They're great. You don't like Gears of War? You don't like the Resident Evil 4? You don't like...
I actually don't. I fucking Resident Evil 4 sucks, dick.
What? What? No.
It's the worst of Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil.
Are you fucking kidding? Resident Evil 4 is the worst game.
4 is way better than 2, man. Come on now.
What, Nick?
Pound fucking sand, John.
I've played both of them.
4? You hate 4?
I do not like 4.
What?
No.
4 is great.
3 is my favorite.
That's like telling me you don't like Air. That doesn't even compute.
No.
What did 4 do to you, Nick?
I just hate it.
Show me on the doll.
It's over. 4 touched me in places it shouldn't have never touched me. Yeah, I like Gears of War, but I think what made Gears of War different is how it interacted with the world. With this one, it was so clunky with movement. Shooting was very clunky. The quote unquote manual aim was dog shit. So it didn't play out right. It just didn't. I couldn't really truly get into this. Like literally, the only thing I kept going like, oh, I liked music. So I was literally just chilling to the music as I was playing. Through.
You put in 16 hours of music listening and 1 hour of gaming.
Exactly.
John, do you have any experience with this, or is it really just Nick coming in fresh, hating life?
I picked it up like 2 years ago, maybe 3. In my initial reclaim of my 64 stuff. I never owned this as a kid. Somebody had it. I played a few minutes of it, thought it was cool, and then got it again. Again, played a few minutes of it. Was like, oh yeah, I remember this one. This is all right. Let's shelf it. We might throw it in the mix. I knew it was Rare, so naturally, like the other Rare titles, GoldenEye, Diddy Kong, Banjo, I had those. Love those games. So I was like, wow, this has got to be worth the play, and it was. I feel like it was.
It's weird.
Shitty controls aside, it was. I liked it.
So, do you want to hear why I picked this before we start into development, and then I want to give Nick just a chance to rip this. I want him to have that, but
you picked it because it would piss us off.
No, actually, not really. That's not true.
That's like 90% of your games.
I was being a dick to you. Don't get me wrong. So about a year ago, I tweeted out something on the corporate account back when I cared about our social media. When you picked Body Harvest, I tweeted out this thing like, oh, John's going to make us play this bug squashing game on N64. And then because I'd always believed Jet Force Gemini is like the golden child. So I was like, oh, the smiley face meme where the guy's like all happy and then he finds out what it actually is and he looks pissed. And but Body Harvest. I'm like, fuck you, John.
Yeah.
So we just got done doing Jet Grind Radio. So I'm like, well, let's do another Jet. We're weak on 64. Let's just keep, same amount of syllables. Jet Grind Radio, Jet Force Gemini. Like we're good.
Yeah.
That literally is the only reason why I picked it. I've had this game sitting on my shelf for My same thing, about 2 years, and I haven't touched it. So I came in fresh, other than hearing great things about it.
It was between Body Harvest, Blast Core, and Jet Force Gemini when I picked Body Harvest.
So you went to the least appealing option.
I swung for the fences and I struck out.
We don't have a good track record with 64, though. We really don't. I don't think we like it. I think that's really what it comes down to, is we just don't like it.
I can't get back into it because of the mechanics of it. I can, like, we'll play them. I don't like them. I don't like them as much as I used to. When we were kids, it was awesome, man. Everybody wanted to play Nintendo 64, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was the shit. All four of you playing, and it does not age well.
We all have different hatreds, though, because John, you hate single stick anything. Like, if I told you this is single stick, you're mad.
Oh, brutal.
Frame rate throws me off. So anytime the frame rate dips below 30, I'm vomiting uncontrollably on the floor. Nick, is it emulation that gets you, or what's your big hatred on the 64?
I wouldn't say emulation, because we did play it at 6. Do we play Ocarina of Time?
No one has picked it. That's wide open.
Which is weird, because I have it on my 3DS. I thought, don't you have it, John, on your 3DS as well?
I have Majora's Mask.
Or do you have it, Matt?
I have it on 64 and 3DS.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna pick it because John would get all butthurt that I was chasing down the top tier game. So I won't pick it.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. John's fucking us over in the end.
Horrible, making you branch out.
Yeah, branch out to fucking Body Harvest. Blech. So, anyways, I don't know. I think what it is when I do have to emulate or have to play the game, I think what it is like John said, is back then these great games are great. We were used to having a boxy character, not smooth edging, and it was at that time a great, is what we had. So we made do. We learned how to use the single stick. We had that now, but after playing, when these games have been appropriately modified and emulated onto other systems, it's hard going back and just playing the originals. Like, I probably couldn't play the original Ocarina of Time on the probably system.
Yeah. So you would have liked it
after especially playing on 3DS.
You would have loved, if you had an Xbox One, I think it's on, you'd have loved playing this on the rare replay. Well, you probably wouldn't, because some of the gameplay issues still stick with that. But you might have liked, because this is included on the rare replay disc that's on the Xbox One, where they've kind of frame rate's very nice. Controls, there's new controls for it, because we're going to talk a little bit about controls coming up in a bit. But
probably one of the biggest downfall I think I've found specifically with the N64 is that camera.
That camera not getting fixed.
That camera gets stuck in these games, and it's just hard to have it, rearrange itself appropriately. And
when we were young, we didn't know how good we had it with 3D. Like now 3D games are amazing looking. Going back, I don't mind the 2D games. I'll go back and play any 2D game, and it's like, okay, some of the graphics are a little crappy, but I think it's a combination of the controls and the frame rate and the graphics, and they just don't assemble well on something like this.
It's really rare, haha, pun intended. But what I found when I was playing this game, and I promise we'll get development in a bit, but I would go and I would play for a little bit, and then I would go back and play Mario 64. It's like, well, if I'm going to play 64, I'm going to be happy. And I think I have a newfound appreciation for that game that I didn't have before. Yeah. And that the camera's still a little wonky at times, but the game still holds up. Whereas like everything else in that 64 library, I have problems with. I even have problems with Ocarina of Time, to be quite honest with you. Something about Mario 64 just kind of works.
I think it was because like the R button, you could snap the camera. Like it was really responsive, and it would follow you better. But yeah, Ocarina of Time, this game. I mean, shit, GoldenEye just with how shooting sucked. Like you couldn't aim that well. I mean, I think it had auto aim, and this kind of did too. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, the N64 does have games that I think played out well and still would play out well. You know, I played Conker's Bad Fur Day. That still actually plays very well. Mm-hmm. That wasn't that bad. I think, obviously another classic as well is actually we did a Star Wars racing game we did.
Yeah.
That plays out well. That plays well. That's still there. Another one I think it still plays well as the Banjo-Kazooie. Those actually still play well.
That's what I was going to say. The camera was a little better on that.
Which is weird, and I want to stop you there because this game came out almost midway through Rare's run on the 64. This game came out after Banjo. Mm-hmm. Banjo was Banjo was a 1998 game. This game was released in 99. Now it was pushed back several times. So we got it October 11th, 99. Europe got it October 29th, 99. Mm-hmm. And Japan got it under a different name. They didn't, I guess Jet Force Gemini was too hard to pronounce, or it was the way they were going to do it was odd. So that it's Twin Stars in Japan.
Yeah.
But this game came out after Banjo, and I can't remember which one of you guys said it, but Banjo's camera worked a lot better than this game's. And I don't know if it's a different team. So the Blast Corps team is the one that made this game. And Blast Corps, I don't know if you guys have played that. It's a great game, but it's wonky in spots. So I'm not entirely sure. But it's midway. You figure the last Rare game on 64 is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Sounds about right.
So they would have had this whole thing. I mean, they'd have figured out the system by then. And to be fair, right? Rare, I think, knew the 64 arguably better than Nintendo. I mean, look at Rare's output. Okay? Blast Corps, hidden gem for the system. GoldenEye, literally saved the system. Diddy Kong Racing, wicked underrated. Banjo-Kazooie still holds up today. This game.
Killer Instinct, Gold.
Gold, yep.
Yeah.
They kind of ported that from arcade. Donkey Kong 64, we'll have plenty of thoughts on that. Perfect Dark, Banjo 2. Yeah. So, I mean, Rare knew the N64.
They'd probably have the most titles in the top 10. Beating out Nintendo, yeah. I see your point there.
Nintendo gets Mario, Nintendo gets Zelda. I'm trying to think what else Nintendo has that's...
Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Fucking characters.
Hey-o.
So, yeah, I couldn't find a whole lot on the development on this one. Other than just it got hit with multiple setbacks. And then I did find out that it really didn't sell particularly well. It wasn't a big hit for Rare. It only sold about 1 million copies, which, I mean, is nothing to slouch at. But with a Rare game, I suspect you would have expected they would sell a lot more. The only other thing I saw in the development somewhere was that Nintendo pushed back. I guess the characters, which we'll talk about in a little bit, were a little more childlike in Rare's initial take. And then Nintendo pushed back, it's real weird having kids going around killing things. You probably should change that.
Yeah. Teenagers is fine, though.
Perfectly fine. Did you guys find anything on development other than the small tidbits that I found?
No, you're pretty much right on there. I know they were trying to make it do a Game Boy Color version, and they ultimately canceled that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In 2006, an unreleased Game Boy Color version was discovered. So one guy had a prototype cartridge.
I wonder if anything's dumped, even just like a beta or something like that. I gotta hunt that down.
Crazy.
That was a cool.
But this game did get good reviews when it came out.
Oh yeah.
they said it was a sleeper AAA, which I don't think any AAA should ever be a sleeper though. Like if
On
it's
that
AAA,
system, though?
you should know like okay, Jet Force. I had it in 64, and I don't remember this game being even really pushed out.
That's
Like
why
I
it's
have
a sleeper.
yeah, but like if it's AAA title, you know it's coming out. Like even then, back then when internet was still very young and it's there, be it Nintendo catalog or going in through going into GameStop or going into KB Toys, Toys R Us, or Walmart. This game should have shined in some form, but it didn't. Like I don't remember the games I would obviously Mario, Ocarina of Time, Zelda's Majora's Mask. It's just like I never heard of this game.
That 64 era was weird, and it may be just be how I'm remembering it, honestly. But it's like, as a kid, I knew of like 5 N64 games or 6 N64 games, and that was it. And then there was this whole other bubble, which was PlayStation, which I didn't really have my arms wrapped around. And Sega's even different. I knew nothing of Saturn. I never even saw one live until I was an adult. But
yeah,
if you go and you look at the PlayStation library, it is just crushing the 64. So I got to wonder if this thing didn't make a whole lot of waves, because in our little happy bubble, 64 was a big deal. And for the rest of the world, it wasn't.
Probably right.
That's my tinfoil hat. I never had a PlayStation, but I knew people that did, and they went nuts about it. And they wouldn't. I had friends that not touching that N64. It's crap.
Yeah, Paul had a PlayStation, and
I was lucky.
The two controller. It was only two controllers, and the game skipped like crazy.
Yeah,
and the load screens, and I was like, well, this is kind of a pain to play. And meanwhile, we still had the 64, and we had more than two people usually for a weekend, so I was like, well, fuck this.
it was the part, like, you'd never played this game, and this game did have a multiplayer mode, which
I'd be intrigued.
I didn't get into it. I played this by myself, but you had a 64. You were playing multiplayer games, right? You're playing Mario Kart. You were playing.
Yep.
I never played a
GoldenEye.
multiplayer game on N64 until high school.
Wow.
All right, we got to move on. So the next thing I have in my notes, and I will welcome Nick to comment. Controls.
I think what made the controls so hard.
He cracks a beer.
What did not help with the controls is that camera. It really made everything hard because you're already trying to fudge with the controls. I think the controls can be adapted fairly easily, but that camera just did not help at all, and it compounded with the controls. I think that's what made the controls what they were. Other than that, I mean,
did you guys tinker with them at all? Because there's two settings, and I didn't even know these settings existed. So
I wish I could turn it from inverted, but it wouldn't let you. That's fucking aim.
I just learned this when I was doing my notes. There's apparently a normal and an expert. And for some reason, I was set on expert. So I don't know. When you went to change your weapons, what buttons did you guys push to do that?
C up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so John, you were on normal. So when I went to do it, me changing my weapons were A and B.
Ooh,
My jump was C up. My strafing was C right and left.
Hmm.
that
Did you
makes
guys ever
sense.
use? Yeah, crouch was C down.
Yeah.
Manual
Ooh.
aim was R. Shoot Z.
I could see how that might be a little better.
It was quicker to change weapons.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever use the D-pad? I didn't know about this until now that you could use the D-pad for stuff.
I don't think it did anything.
There was a menu you could go into where you could
Oh,
assign
you had to map it.
quick weapons. So like if
Huh.
That'd be a lot better.
I don't know you guys, but like I found certain weapons in this game were useful and some were dumb. Like the pistol was useful, the machine gun was useful, the shotgun fucking useless as
Oh, that
just
sucked.
shit, just
Which-
goddamn
which-
garbage.
Which you would think would be like the shotgun in every like shooter is a great gun, especially close combat because it takes the most damage or does the most damage. But it was like, hey, let me shoot friggin' powder in your face.
Magic stars,
Right.
go. Hopes
You
and
couldn't even
dreams.
turn around to like hit these guys because I feel like if you ever got close to one of the guys, it was like just a strafe debacle.
Oh,
You know,
it's a shuffle. You
Yeah.
couldn't do it like a full. Couldn't do a full 180.
No.
Did you 6%ers get far enough in this game to run into the guys with the shields?
Yep.
You did.
Annoying as fuck.
Fucking
God,
love the
those-
grenades, baby.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. I blew myself up a couple times.
I blew myself up more than I didn't with the grenades. I would sit there with a machine gun and just shoot them and hope they eventually died. I'd burn through a shit ton of machine gun ammo with the shield guys.
Yeah. Trying to hit those snipers too, and you can't even make out what the graphic is. You
Well,
know,
they
and you get the
blend it in
little
'cause
reticle
they're, like,
to turn
greenish.
red. Yeah. And you just see that thing turn red on your auto aim, and then it would move because you can't really lock on that well. So like my hit percentage, like you know how some games will tell you, like GoldenEye, what your actual percentage was. If this did it, it would not be over like 10%.
I think it did. I think I was in like the 20s every time I did it.
God, yeah.
I just kind of sprayed. Honestly, I would just run through and just spray shit.
It gave you the ammo so much. Every new room, it would have a pack. So you'd be like, oh, shit.
So
Why not?
I think we got to talk about what this game actually is.
But you could. But
for
this
people
game,
who would
yeah.
go for it, Nick.
Well, I was saying, and we'll get into this because it's a game. You could spray and pray, but I mean, the other part of this is you're saving a race. So this game is you're trying to save there, so you can actually kill the creatures that you're trying to save. What are they called again?
The tribals.
The tribals, the Mogwai mixed with
Care
Yodas.
Bears.
So hold on. The fucking Yoda line, I was waiting for John to bust that out because when you go and you talk to the guys, and we're so scattered, but I'm drinking and my episodes are the most scatterbrained of the three.
Yeah.
When you go and you talk to like the village leader guy, like the blue guy, every one of them is like, rah, rah, rah. I was waiting for John to have some kind of comment like you're talking to Yoda. Is that in your notes?
And Banjo did the same thing, man. Banjo was just I'd love to be the guy that got paid to do that shit to record it. You know,
All they probably did was get a keyboard and just went, "Oh, this is a great sound. Oh, this is a good sound. We'll just hit these like this and just see what happens."
There was so much goddamn dialogue, and that is the shittiest font. It hurt my eyes to read that.
Font was hard.
Wait, is it like a robotic or anything of that nature? What is they have that like? What's that font that has like a robot?
Sputnik. It's fucking Sputnik font.
Sputnik font.
I tried playing this at my dad's house, and I have an old Sanyo with a VCR built in, and I was like, I'll fire this up, and it's okay. I can watch a VHS on it. I just shut it off. My eyes immediately started hurting trying to play this game. I was like, fuck. Oh, no, I couldn't read. I was just like squinting, like hoping the dialogue would go away.
Stop. Just hit the button. You missed every line. So okay. So did you catch any of the story at all, or did you skip it as a blind person, had no interest whatsoever?
I did some reading after because, like, Jesus, this was tough to read. There was a lot of dialogue to go through, and so the story is that the Jet Force was like the space police, and their ship got blown up, or the planet got blown up or something by the evil cockroach lord.
Mizar or something like that.
Mizar. Yeah. And okay, yeah, that sounds like an evil name. And the leader of the fucking tribals is just named Jeff.
King Jeff. King Jeff. Royal Tribal Jeff.
Do these developers, are they like really bored and just like sarcastic nerds? And they're like, Jeff took the last donut. He's going to be the dickhead in this game. And like, Steve's up next in the next game, you know, like.
They're British, right? Because Rare's a British company. They were probably operating on some level that we won't find funny for like until 25 years from now. That's how Rare works.
You know what it makes me think of? Because we watched this movie recently, was Get Him to the Greek, where it's this smoke the Jeffrey. Like that, there's something there. We're on that wavelength now.
But did you? Okay, so we're gonna jump the story because I'm gonna fuck everything up. But did you catch?
Yeah.
Did you know who Jeff's brother is? Right? Did you read that far ahead in the story?
Yep. Yeah.
Barry. So Barry. I mean, like Jeff and Barry.
They own a fucking mechanic shop in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I mean, so then you also have, what was it? Honorable Nation of Floyd. Like at a nation, like these names are just like, did they go into a baby book? Like, okay, we'll use this name. Oh, we'll use this name. It's an alien planet. So when you like think of like them just putting random like consonants with one vowel or something, and there's your name.
I think what happens is like, and you can kind of see this in like people that have large families, is like the names start off being very good at the front end. So like Juno is the boy character, Vela is the girl, Lupus is the dog, and I think they all have some kind of they have some kind of ties with like constellations. Like there's some thought picked into those names. But then like as the family gets larger and you get further down the line, it's like, fuck it. We're gonna name the sixth kid Cletus because fuck it. We ran out of names. And that's what happened in this game. Like Jeff, Barry, that makes a good name for space conquerors.
Then you get Mizars.
He was probably named first because I feel like it's got a Z in it. They busted out. They pull all the stops from Mizar.
Everything evil in space has a Z in it.
The evil Emperor Zurg.
Let's talk about some of these characters too. Like again, the Mogwai. What the fuck? Like, were they literally like? Was the guy just like, hey, what was that movie? You know, where they eat after midnight, then they turn into these horrible creatures. I don't know. And they probably just started developing one from memory, and then probably actually watched it like, oh, that's what it was, Gremlins. And then they're like, it was an awesome movie about in the late 70s that had this creature that lived in a swamp. I don't know, Star Wars. Like, I feel like they literally just took those characters and just put them together.
They said, so in the development, that's one thing they said was they were influenced by like 1980s sci-fi.
Yep.
They were influenced by Metroid, which you can see that in this game with like the way the doors worked, which we can talk about. And then Mario, which I guess what 3D game wasn't influenced by Mario? Did you guys get a chance to look at the manual though?
Nope.
So they give the backstory of all the characters. And so like Juno and Vela are twins as part of this like galactic force, which John, you mentioned. But what cracked me up is when you read like Vela's description, it's like always the feisty one. She's followed the Jet Force. She's here in a sense of justice, determination to prove equality of the fairest sex in the skeptical military world. Like that is such a late 90s paragraph.
Let me guess. Her favorite album was Jagged Little Pill.
Oh my god! Like, if you look at the manual, if you were to like find some stranger on the street and present this, you'd be like, all right, this the visuals were made in like that 3D imaging that was done at the time, which what they did for Donkey Kong Country, and then the way they phrase things, like this is so fucking late 90s. I think somewhere I saw that they described Lupus as a war dog. So I had to look up. I had to look up what actually a war dog is. Like that's pretty cool.
He looks like a rejected. What is that dog from? Dog's name from your favorite Mega Man? I can't think of his name.
Oh, Rush.
He looks like a rejected Rush.
Yeah.
And again, like, I don't think they deserve to call those characters insectoids because insects have 3 body parts and 6 legs. These creatures had, I think, just 2 body parts in a sense and 2 legs. So where's that extra pair of legs? Huh?
Oh, now you get technical.
I was gonna say that's the thing you pick apart. We can barely function getting notes put together, and you're like examining the boss enemies and their technical.
This dog can shoot a gun and drive a hovercraft, but I fucking insect. You only got 2 body parts.
That's like that time I went and saw Spider-Man with Justin. Like when the first Spider-Man came out, he's like, "That's so unrealistic." It's like, yeah, it's fucking Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man. You have to suspend some belief. Jesus Christ, disbelief.
Are those subwoofers on the Transformers? You remember that too? Oh, God.
Watching a movie with him, it's like, my God, you're examining shit in this movie that should not even be like. He's not actually a Batman, Justin. Move on. So, fucking A. So this game.
Why didn't this game use the expansion pack?
I guess they were looking into it, right?
They were going to. Yeah. They were cocky.
Because it says use a rumble pack, I know that.
I don't have a rumble pack. I got to buy one. Side note.
Yeah. I don't.
I'll remind you later, buy one. I'll start sending you just ads of
Facebook.
Pelt you with them.
So we haven't talked, I guess, about like the function of the game, at least. So I guess where I'm going with this is, and you guys interrupt me. I initially started playing this game, and I'm like, this is the greatest fucking N64 game ever. Like, it's a third-person shooter. It controls reasonably well for the era. And then I hit a brick wall, and then I spent some time Googling how the game proceeds in the second half of the game. And it is apparently everything I hate about N64.
You have to go back through the levels with different characters, find all this shit, collect things. I know what his brain. Yeah, and you kind of told us too, but like
backtracking, like multiple characters. You need the ship parts. You need to collect the tribals. You forgot a tribal, but you got that tribal, but he's reappeared. Oh, you exited the level on accident, and you only collected 5.
There was no map in this, right? Like
no. Nope.
Yeah, that was a bitch.
And I missed stuff. Well, it was one of the things. So for the listener, I'm going to go on a 20-minute diatribe. Nick, John, it's good talking to you. So I played this game in earnest. I knew you guys with an N64 were not going to be too keen on things. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna lead the charge in this fucking game, and I did. I played. I was pretty aggressive on this. And then what happened was I got to the midport in this game where there is a fight. So the way the game is structured, you you get separated. So the three characters, Vela, Lupus, Juno, they all get separated. You start off with Juno. You work through his missions, you get Vela back, and then eventually you get Lupus. So the prologue of the game is you're gathering your characters so you can meet at Mizar's fortress, which I guess brings you to the real portion of the game, which is collecting these fucking Mogwai guys. However, I did not get through the prologue of this fucking game because I got through Juno's portion, which was relatively easy, right? Go through these levels. I think it's like 3 planets or so. Fight a boss, move on.
Yeah.
Bosses were okay, nothing too crazy. The way the bosses work in this game, right? It's kind of, you're trapped in a 2D plane. You can run back and forth.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of difficulty in the terrain, the arena for the boss fights. It was all timing. The jumps, like, oh God, what shitty graphics for shockwaves too. Like, oh, this little wall's moving towards you. You're never gonna escape. Oh, look, 2 inches of jump.
Safe. So I can't remember the bosses, the first 2. I can't remember what Juno fought, and I can't remember who Vela fought. I mean, they were pretty simple. Like, shoot the body part, they die. Well, Vela, I think you fight in a lava planet. I can't remember who Juno you fight. I can't remember what that was. But what I can remember, and what will be seared in my brain until the day I fucking die, is the twin mantises that you fight with a dog. Because that's where my gameplay ended.
Yeah, I didn't get that far.
I was screeching on the mountaintops to you guys. I'm like, this game is fucking awesome. And then I got to that point and it's like, this game fucking sucks. This is the worst thing I ever did to you guys.
What was so bad about that part?
So you had these like 2 robot mantises. And up until this point, like, you're fighting bosses. That's like shoot body part, shoot body part, shoot body part. Congratulations, you won. Right?
Yeah.
No build up. You're in the dog. You're playing as the dog, and the controls are slippery. I don't think we've talked about that yet. But when you jump and you run and all that other stuff, it's you don't stop on a dime. You have to fight through 4 fucking phases of these jumping mantis bosses that are unloading shit on you left and right. You have a small window of time of when you can actually hit them, and ammo is a problem. You only have so many homing rockets. You only have so many tri-rockets. You're going to burn through machine gun ammo trying to like shoot the body parts of these fucking mantises. So then you're left with the Jazzle Dazzle shotgun, which is useless as tits on a bowl. Grenades, which blow you up and not them up. Pistol, which is pretty much useless on bosses.
Yeah, it doesn't do much damage. Also, you can't tell. Like, where's the fucking life meter? Just the body parts?
On these bosses? No, there's none. Yeah. You got to know the phases. And I got online. So I got online when I was playing this game. Like, why do I suck so much? I really felt bad about myself. Apparently, this is common. Apparently, this is like a common thing. Like, you get on the internet and was like, oh, this is where the game ended for me. These fucking mantises. And so I got smart, right? I had the cartridge. So I bought this cartridge off eBay 2 or 3 years ago, right? And I was like, fuck it. I have 8 hours in this game or 7 hours in this game. The guy I bought it from has 9 hours and 30 minutes. I was like, I'm going to get through this fucking... If I can't beat this boss, Nick and John aren't going to get past this. No. Surely, clearly. I'll take this guy's save. I'll beat the rest of the game with this guy's save. I'll get through it. That dude spent 9 hours and 30 minutes and he died at the exact same fucking spot that I did. I was so pissed off to find out.
I should go check mine.
Oh my God. I didn't even get to the part of the game that I'd bitched the most about.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what the game was doing. Is like, this guy's really not going to like the rest of this game. Let's just have it so this is the game for him. Let's have this be like the worst yet best case scenario. This is the game for him. He led it all the way up to this. Because all he's going to do is rave and bitch about the collection. Having to go back and forth.
They
Because
were
if you're not
kind.
going forward, you're going backwards.
That's right. What
Which is
bothered me was like I was immediately finished telling you guys how happy I was with this game, and then I got to those mantises and spent an entire week not beating these fucking mantises.
well.
Humming them.
Me and John were like, "Oh, he's gonna have this game. He must have this game beat already." With hours you put in, easily had us beat. And me and John at that point maybe had 20 minutes in, and you're like, "Oh," and then you're like, I'm done. I fucking. So when you first said you're like, I'm done, I'm like, oh, he beat it. Awesome, he beat it. And then you're like, oh, he didn't beat it. And then me and John, knowing how much time you probably actually had to be able to put in, I'm like, he's probably put on an extra 4 or 5 hours just to beat this one boss. Try to beat this one boss.
I went back in the game, right? I was like, I clearly don't have enough ammo. I clearly don't have enough health. I went through and I collected everything I physically could to make myself even remotely capable of standing up to these fucking mantises. And I think I got owned even worse.
What was harder? This or Culex?
I've beaten Culex.
Yeah.
And I would phrase it like this, okay? I have come close to beating Ninja Gaiden. I've never done it. I will have a better chance of beating the last boss of Ninja Gaiden, one of the most brutal NES games ever, than beating this fucking mantis garbage. I'm so fucking mad because I want to finish this game.
Have you watched like that part? See what it looked like to beat him, or what it takes.
I watch these people, and like with the mantis is like they pull out their guns, and these guys on YouTube, like they're liars. They're using tool assist. They just don't admit it. They're firing rockets the second that reticle turns red. Like they're just they're cocked and ready to go. It is impressive to watch these people fight these fucking bugs. And then just like one shot, boom, body part. He blows this up. He blows off the sickle arm. You know, he's wiping out the tails. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here like some fucking idiot unloading like 97 rockets, losing all my rockets, and then having to face these shitheads with grenades that blow me up and jazzle dazzle fucking shotgun shells.
But you know what? The music and the sound effects of this game, 10 out of 10.
It's on Spotify for Nicholas.
I think it made the game enjoyable, and I think anything that has a great great soundtrack or great audio really does up the level of the game. You know, my high bar is actually the Ghostbusters game. That came out I played it on the 360 when I played out, because it had all the original actors voicing over. It had great sounds and great music, obviously, in it, and it helped enhance that experience with the game. So I think when you have those great sounds, you have the great music, it does enhance that game greatly. I mean, look at the game we played, Carnage. I feel like the sound on the SNES is way better, and you have a lot more better sound effects. With the Sega version, there's not all the same sound effects. The music's very tinty, and it kind of just leads to a poor experience with it. So I think that's what I mean. This game got great reviews, and if me, you, and John actually probably played this when it came out, we'd probably all give it 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. We'd probably be up there with the critics.
Up until that fucking dogfight, you had me at a 9. This game would have been a 9 up until that. And going back to what you're saying about sound, what did you think of the sound when the gunshot missed you and went by you behind you?
So that was one of the things I liked. Like, it was great.
So
like,
good.
Ooh, yeah.
Like it faded out.
It was impressive.
For that time era, definitely.
I think this game had everything that I wanted up until the collectathon, the dog thing. Because, like, You had a wide assortment of guns, which were fantastic. You know, the characters all played different. Like, he apparently can walk through lava. She can swim, which I used her in a couple levels with the swimming. And the dog had the jetpack. So you had this like nice variety in this game.
This would be a great remake.
Mm.
I think it needed a sequel. I think this is kind. I think it's kind of like Jet Grind Radio, right? A little clunky. It's got some problems. Give it a sequel, let it flourish. And they never gave it a sequel.
Bummer. Yeah.
I think when you look at the notes I had, you figure Conquer was 2001. I think Rare's last game was that Star Fox Adventure game on GameCube. Because after that, I think they got bought out by Xbox. So I think Rare's next game was they redid Conquer again on Xbox, and they did Grab by Ghoulies. So we've never had a proper chance to get a sequel for this. Rare was too busy making fucking Kinect games after that. So, any other things you guys want to say about this game other than my 20-minute diatribe on the fucking Mantis boss that should go down in history as one of the most frustrating things that I've ever done?
I mean, I'm glad that you actually, of all people, got time to put into this so you can actually give an honest opinion on it. You know, I do feel bad for myself, and I'll even take it on John's side as well, that we didn't get to play as much on this. Give much feedback on it. So, yeah, I mean, maybe this game deserves a little bit more playthrough, but other than that, I mean, it's hard. I think a lot of these games, and we'll find this probably going forward, is a lot of these games are just not holding up to what they were. And I think we'll find, especially with the 3D games, and I'm sure this will become victim to my pick down the road of Donkey Kong 64, is we'll find that they're not holding up, especially when you play other games after the fact, especially when you play when they've been revitalized. You know, a lot of these games have had a chance to be revitalized. You know, like I said, Ocarina of Time, that had a good facelift on the 3DS port. Great facelift on the 3DS port. Shitty facelift on the Switch.
They've done a patch, so I guess the emulation has gotten better.
Oh, fantastic. Maybe Nintendo's listening. I mean,
they're listening, and then they're blocking people, that they're wiping out YouTube content.
Yeah. No more music.
So, I mean, I think it's just a thing of going back, and I think what kind of sucks about this is, you know, this is fun doing this, but it's kind of sad, because it's kind of like you have all these fond memories of these games that we played, and then you're like, oh, that didn't hold up. Kind of like when you go watch a movie that you watched as a kid. Oh, this doesn't hold up. Like, the other day watched Pete's Dragon. It won. Like, social conscience alone.
The beer scene's great. I do love when they're singing in the bar. Like, that would be my image of what I want to go to the bar, and there's just beer, just geysers
sloshing around.
That's good. Yeah, that's great. It's just, but like, it's when you have those graphics, when you have the sounds, like, it's just one of those things. But this game is, I mean, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I was gonna give a score.
And I was way too lazy because we've been like 3 weeks out, and I just have been distracted. I didn't send you guys the list, so I don't know if you guys want to do that now or if you guys want to wait until the next game and class this one on our list. It's up to you. I can edit either way.
Wait? I had to wait on that one. I don't know where I put this right now.
My opinions are still fresh on it is the problem, and I kind of waffle between like the first half of my playthrough, which I'd sing this at a mountaintop saying it's a top 5 N64 game. Everyone should own this. I believe I said that. Everyone should own this game. Yep. And then I got to the dog fight, and my opinion was not that.
I want to put this quote out there when I was researching this, because it's very fitting for our host. And they did a lot of hodgepodge. So, Matt, the quote from the developer, in all the piecing together of this game from many different elements was that the solution we ended with is a beautiful thing. It feels very old school, difficult, unforgiving, but ultimately precise. And I think that's what's going to go on your tombstone.
That is me.
Yeah.
Painful. That the game has parts that are painful.
Unforgiving. Yep.
Yeah, it I don't know where to rank it. And I'm glad we're giving ourselves some time to rank it. Next week I think when we'll have time, we'll have to interrupt Dan when he's on. We'll do our ranking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very conflicted on this because
Super conflicted.
It's a top tier N64 game, but it has flaws.
And that's why I feel it's hard to give this such a rating. Like, I feel like I'm not doing this game justice by giving the rating it is, because I felt like it has, like I said, all the critics have clearly said it was either between 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. And you said so until up to that boss was a 9 out of 10. So
I think once I hit the collectathon, that number would hit just abysmal.
But that's more of a personal thing versus anything.
I
mean, look at regular Mario games. You don't even fucking collect the coins.
No, it's a waste of
Sonic,
time.
you don't collect the rings.
No, just get one.
But the stars in Mario, that's a collectathon, though. A little bit, right?
But it's different. Mario feels different. Like getting the stars, like there's something to that. Like, and that's okay. So Mario 64, when I'm collecting the stars, it's like the game is designed around that, and it wants me to do it. And like every chance I have to collect a star is unique, right? It's like, do this thing, get this thing. Yes, all the levels take place in one plane, but I'm doing something. Here it's just like, I've got an 8-hour game, but I need to make it 16 hours. How about you go and you find a bunch of Ewoks? And it's like, well, that's fucking dumb.
It's not crucial. Yeah.
What Ewok did I already get? Well, I don't know. They're all going to reappear. Well, why can't you just take away the ones they already got? Well, we're not going to do that. Okay, well, why can't we save them and then save the game? Well, no, it only saves when you exit the level. Well, what happens if I accidentally exit the level? Well, you got 5 out of 6. So you have to do the whole thing again.
You got to go back. Oh, yeah.
It's just like, that's not good gameplay.
This game was
not very conducive.
The lob for Banjo-Kazooie's Spike. This was like the last. I feel like Banjo-Kazooie, if we play that, I played a lot of it. I probably got 3/4 of the way through that as a kid.
Yep.
I don't know about you guys, but that game is pretty fucking awesome.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
I played 5 minutes of it.
Yep.
Well, Dad,
you'll be like, I see it, because there's shared mechanics.
Yep. So, well, now on my little list, this is either the second or third N64 game, because the Star Wars game kind of touches on both. You could play it on 64 or Dreamcast. I played it on Dreamcast. So we still haven't hit greatness, I think, on our 64. We're really trying to find something that carries on. Unfortunately, we're 16-bit people, I think, is our problem.
Yeah.
We can handle a PS2, GameCube, Xbox game because it's kind of close to what is modern. This N64, Saturn, PlayStation era is just not. I think all our games have kind of. Silhouette Mirage we liked, but it's like, well, that's a 16-bit game pretending to be modern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. We had some other PS1 games. We were pretty kind to Resident Evil. We were brutal to Body Harvest. I honestly think probably more brutal than we should. It scarred us. So I don't know. We've got to find something in this N64 era. Nick, you are a great hope. You've got 2. You have 2 N64 games this year. And John, your picks are all mysteries because you're that guy.
We'll see.
We'll see. Who wants to take us out today?
I think it should be you, but I think we should promise Dan. And so maybe John can talk about that.
So we have our often talked about colleague joining us for our next episode, which will be Knights of the Old Republic on OG Xbox. And
so you're doing a two-parter, right? Because the game is
apparently
beefy?
Because this game is quite long, quite lengthy. Yeah, so he will be joining. He is a stalwart gamer, more so than I think we are. To a degree, Matt.
I said it's probably me and him there. I did a lot of PC gaming.
Yeah. I'm excited. He's a good counter to my goofiness. He's a good grounded gamer, and he'll give a good logical explanation, I'm sure, and make fun of us
shit
a
on
lot
John.
too.
Let's be honest.
He's going to shit on you the whole time. That's
his favorite pastime. Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be great having someone to help shit on John.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Guest host, we haven't had one of those in like 2 years.
It's actually been like less than one. Just life has been so miserable that it just seems like 3 years, but really it's
2
been
years. 2 years has just gone by, and I don't know what time is anymore.
Time's irrelevant.
We just do this every 3 weeks and drink alcohol. We're coming up on like episode 50 of this fucking thing.
We'll have to plan something.
How is that possible?
Yeah, we need a bicentennial.
I remember playing Crystal Warriors like it was yesterday and just hating Nick. Like, Nick, if I had seen you, I would have like tapped. I would have just given you a love tap right in the balls, just whap like that for that game.
We go through stretches because
John, you give me a love tap anytime.
Oh yeah.
We ended out 2021 with like a string of games where it's like I was ready to flick you guys in the nuts. It's like, will somebody just pick something I'm excited to play? Please, for the fucking love of God, pick something I want to play. And that was kind of our era when we had Crystal Warriors, because we had that in Body Harvest back to back.
Jesus.
And Nick picked Donkey Kong after that, which was kind of our saving grace. It's like, oh, thank
pull us out of the dirt.
God.
Thank Nick. Because I'm nice.
No.
That cackling was my wife.
Well, compared to her, you are nice.
And compared to her, I am greatly nice.
Fucking saint.
You're not nice. On that note, let me take us out on our socials where you can follow us and listen to us. Spindash Retro, Twitter and IG. You can also join our Discord. Listen to us any place podcast except for Stitcher.
We're not on Stitcher?
I couldn't find us on Stitcher. So
Well,
you got to fix that, sir.
I've got to seppuku myself. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day, maybe Spotify will offer us a $10 million deal to podcast on them exclusively, like Joe Rogan.
Oh, you went there. Neil Young's going to take us down. For spreading fake video game news. Neil, fucking Canadian.
All right, you guys listen to Spin Dash Retro. Have a good night.
Night, guys.
Oh, boy.